In this video we're going to look at creating a general site and then placing nest boxes in that site. So there are a couple of reasons you'd want to create a general site. It might be that you have a nest box project, or it might be your local patch where you often go out searching for nests. So to start with, log into Demography Online and you'll end up on the home page here. So first of all, whenever you log in, it's important to check that you are operating as the correct user. So if you're part of a group, you may need to switch users. And then from there, we're going to go and create our general site. So either you can click the button Manage Sites from the selection here, or in the top bar, you can select Sites. So when the page loads up, you're going to want to move the map to wherever it is that you're placing a site. So once it's moved and you're zoomed in on it, then you can go to the Create tools and select General Site. So this will give you this blue dot. So here we're going to create a shape, and this is going to cover any of your patch or area where there are nest boxes or where you will be looking for nests. So we want to do this as accurately as possible by clicking on the map. You can create as many corners and points as you like. Once you've created your shape, the blue dot will nicely click or snap onto the starting point here. So you click finally there, and the general site information box will appear. So this is where you want to add as much detail as you can about the general site, and it will also be where you will create the defaults for any nest sites that will be within this general site. So first you want to give it a name that means something to you, as specific as you can be, and then a location code. And now if you have a look here, so the red asterisks mean it's a compulsory field, and you'll see where the compulsory fields are. So we want to go to spatial details, and these have already been filled in by the map location. You can add if it's a confidential site. Then we want to add some habitat details, so this is a coniferous woodland. You can then add any other details that might be useful to you, and then if there is a secondary habitat, which I'll leave blank for now. Now, nest recording default is a really helpful section if you are setting up a nest box project or looking for similar nests. So as this example I'm giving is looking at nest boxes, we go to nest type, and then you can select nest box or whichever one is relevant. And this will be the default every time you create a nest box or a nest within this site. So you can change them for each individual nest, but if you're setting up a lot of the same boxes at similar heights and similar orientations, then this is going to really speed up the process for you. So you can put it's a whole and just fill in whatever's relevant. It's unlikely they'll all be facing the same way, so things like orientation you might want to fill in separately, and also the location description you might want to do separately, or you could put that they're always going to be on a tree. So then the final section is ringing defaults, and this will be the name that comes up for anyone that receives a recovery, so this would be a public name. So if you are ringing chicks in the nest, if a member of the public finds a chick or an adult bird further down the line, when they receive the details of where it was originally ringed, this will be the name. And if that doesn't seem like an appropriate name to you, you can also customize it. And then you can add a capture method. So in this instance, you might want to put on the nest. So that means whenever you're adding any ringing details, that will be the default that comes up. So once you're happy with all of the details there, click Save, and there we have our general site. So you can click on it and you get some options down the side for it. Click off it and you can create new sites. So now let's look at adding a nest box to our site. So if you click on it, the option to create new disappears. So you want to make sure you're not clicked on anything. Go to the Create tools and select Nest Site. So this gives us that blue dot again, but we're not going to create a shape this time, we're going to place where the nest box is. So you can still move the map around by clicking and dragging and by zooming in. And then once you're happy with the location of where the nest box is, just click and it'll come up for you to select your site. So we've created Woodland, and that's the site we want to use here. If there are overlapping sites, it means that you get to pick which one you want it to be associated with. So then we can continue. So here you're going to give the name of your nest box. So it might be that you've numbered them. So I'm going to call mine Woodland 001. And then we can have a look through, seeing that these are the similar details as what we did for the general site. So that information's there. The habitat is as we put it in. Here you can see the nest recording defaults, and I can also add in any additional info which might be relevant to this specific box. So it's 1 meter, center of a wood, facing east. And I think I'm happy with that amount of information for this box. And again, those ringing defaults are the same as before. So we click save, and we now have our first nest box in our first site. So you can carry on like that, adding as many nest boxes as you like to the location.